All right, buddy. Here we are, man. It's been a long journey. We're within 24 hours. The big day. Big walks tomorrow. 10 a.m. Just want to sit down with you for a few moments, kind of collect some thoughts on what it's been like in the next few hours of your journey.
All right.
So now the walk is less than 24 hours away. How do you feel?
I feel good. I mean, we've done a lot of driving and a lot of, I've had to deal with all kinds of stuff with trying to graduate and, all the stuff with trying to find somebody sublease, and I've been interviewed for jobs. So now that all that stuff has just kind of been taken care of, now it's walk time. It's finally, I've been so distracted with this and that and the other that I haven't really had time to live in the moment and to kind of tell myself, now, it's happening. So it's finally, that stuff has kind of all been taken care of. So the only thing that's on my mind now is the walk. Is mentally preparing, physically preparing, and getting all my things together so that, I'm in the best position that I can to actually get things underway tomorrow.
It's so that you don't have to worry once you start. Less
exactly.
stuff to worry about.
The more prep that I can do, the better off that I'll start.
Good, man. Good, because I know I've been, part of the struggle with you, and it's been a long time coming. It almost feels good that it's here.
Yeah, it's this just build up, and it's just this thing has been hanging over my head, and it's tough to have everything revolve around this event that's not for another 6 months. But now it's well, finally, it's this big release. Just oh, well, here we go. Finally, it's time to actually get after it instead of just being oh yeah, this walk I'm gonna do. It's it doesn't really mean it. None of that really means anything until you actually start and you're actually doing it. So that's, it's that time. It's finally time to actually do it. Because if you kind of feel like a chump when you're oh, well, I'm going to go do this crazy thing. And oh, but you haven't yet. You haven't really earned anything. All you really have shown us is that you have a big mouth and you can talk about, you talk a big game, but let's see you.
Slightly crazy.
Yeah, exactly. The only thing I've proven is that I'm insane. So actually doing this and getting support and collecting donations and supporting the charity and meeting people, and I'm so excited to finally get that stuff underway that it kind of gives me chills a little bit, because this is a life moment. This is one of those critical life moments that defines you for now and for the rest of your life. On my deathbed I'll say, back when I was a young whippersnapper, I was able to help people. I was able to do something great and provide knowledge and support and all these different things to help other people, and that's what the walk's all about. And so it's here. It's finally time.
That's great. That's great. Now, since 6 months flown past, it's funny you even said 6 months, because I can't even realize that it has been so. It feels like it was 2 weeks ago you planted this seed, and it's grown into this huge thing. And days tomorrow. So, over the next however many hours, 10, 12 hours, till game time, what are you going to go through? What sort of last-minute preparations do you have set aside?
I think just getting my gear, the finalizing my gear list, even if I haven't finalized it, telling myself that, all right, everything that I have now is what I'm taking with me. That's a confidence builder. And then I think I'm going to have a little bit of time to myself, either tonight or very early tomorrow morning, to just kind of just take it all in, just take a minute, because there's so many moving pieces and dates and times and meetings and couch surfing and where I'm going to sleep and planning and promoting and all of these events. It's just I haven't had time to just kind of look inward and to kind of, check everything. Yeah, to kind of check everything with myself to say, are we ready? Me and myself, that is. Where do I need to be mentally? What do I need to tell myself? And I kind of want to just have that moment where it's just a self pat on the back, a self congratulations that I've made it through all of these different things and struggles with building this thing from a concept into something that has the power to affect people, and just kind of really taking a moment and just an actualization of what's to come, and to really make it real. Because when you're always oh yeah, this and that, it's not real.
Yeah.
But when it's okay, well, when I wake up tomorrow, that's going to be the day that I start my walk. That is going to be the start of the next 100 days. And just clearing that by myself and really trying to make sure that I understand is crucial. Is really crucial. And so I'm gonna make sure I set aside at least a little bit of time and just kind of get inside my own head, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Not in a like, what if this happens? What if that? No, it's just kind of like, you know what, man?
Is there any anxiety in it? Are you anxious at all?
I'm anxious in the sense that I want this to be as impactful as possible. I want to do everything that I can to reach as many people as I can and have a positive effect. I don't want to just say, well, you know, if people pay attention, then great. I want people to care because I know that the message is real. So the anxiety isn't, what if this happens? What if you know, I don't reach enough people? And I mean, that's not really something that I can control that well. But the anxiety is not necessarily related to the walk. It's related to me just wanting more, wanting to help more people, wanting to have a bigger effect. But no, it's all been confidence. It's all been, you know, waiting for this moment.
Good. I mean, you're gonna need it. And I know you've been doing yoga. You meditate. You know, are you mentally prepared? What is your mental state at this point in time?
I'm excited. I really am just excited. I don't think about, I mean, everybody wants to ask me what happens if you screw this up? What happens when this goes wrong? And yes, I've thought about that. And I've prepared contingency plans for what if those things happen. But at this point in time, that's not helpful anymore. It's not helpful to say, well, what if, doubts, anxieties. So when I meditate, I clear myself. I don't think positive or negative. I don't think. I just exist. And I use, I guess, the terminology mindfulness and just being aware of that. The only thing I'll ever have control over is the exact moment in time that I'm living. So this moment right now is the only thing that I can control. And so using that kind of frame of mind, you know, I'm not anxious about the past preparation. I'm not anxious about what tomorrow's holding. It gives me a time to really just sit and say, I'm alive at this moment, you know. We've been giving, life is this precious thing, and we always think about this or that or the other, but we tend to not live in the exact moment in time that we exist in. And so the ability to kind of just take it all in, you know, and to sit in silence and just kind of clear it all out. And with yoga's more of like a bodily calm, whereas meditation's more of a mental calm for me. And so having those two components, and I'll continue them throughout the walk.
I feel like they coincide as well, too.
Exactly. And when yoga, you know, you have that you know, you feeling your body, and you're feeling your existence and your bodily preparation, whereas, you know, when I meditate, I try and stay still, and I try to really just feel nothing, but feel, you know, everything at the same time. It's confusing, but that's the way I approach it. So those two kind of styles of relaxation, I think, have put me where I need to be, and I am prepared.
It's a very, very necessary part.
And it is, because if you don't know why you're doing something like this, when you get 15 days in and it sucks and it's terrible and it's raining and you're miserable and you hurt, you won't find the motivation to keep going. But if you kind of say, you know, you take in that mindfulness and you just say, well, you know what? We've got one shot at life. We have one run. And relatively speaking, it's not very long. And you just have to sit and say, you know, I'm doing this for a reason. And I'm motivated and confident in the reasons that this is happening. And that's just an endless stream of motivation that will push me when those times are down and out. When I want to quit, this is going to be tough. This is going to be the hardest thing that I've ever done. But I also have the coping resources, like meditation, yoga, to really get me over the hump and to get me past those days where nothing goes right. And so that's where I'm at right now, and it's exactly where I want to be.
Very good. Ed, sounds like you're ready.
Yeah.
So I guess that leads to, you know, my final question. You're ready. Are you ready?
Yes. But with a caveat. Obviously, asking somebody if they're ready to get married or something that's, well, obviously this isn't like super long term, but this is a 4-month thing. You ask somebody if they're, you know, ready to get married, they say, yeah, sure, but realistically it's like, how can you be ready for something that takes X amount of months or years? But the way I've reframed that in my mind is I'm not ready for the whole walk. And I hadn't planned on being ready for the whole walk.
Mm-hmm.
But I am ready for tomorrow. And when tomorrow's over, at the end of tomorrow, when I find wherever I'm going to sleep, I'll ask myself again, am I ready for the whole walk? No. But I'll be ready for the next day. And when that day starts, I'll be ready. And that's all I have to do. I don't have to walk the whole walk tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to walk my 30 miles tomorrow.
With all that excitement, how do you not just sprint out the gate? How do you not just run for the first 10 miles?
And that's
It's all been bottling up.
Yeah,
This
and like
10
I'm
A's
gonna
come
want
around.
to.
Exactly.
I'm gonna want to just get it done, but this whole thing's been a real practice in patience, and that's why I'm walking and not running or biking or whatever elsing, is because the concept is that you just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting anywhere fast, and that can be frustrating for people. But for me, it's a practice in patience. It's a practice in having to pay attention to all the small things as I creep along the United States. Because it's easy to say, man, like I just want to go faster and I want to get there sooner. But realistically, it's like as long as I don't stop, as long as I keep walking, no matter how slow, even if I tiptoe, I'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
Yep.
As long as I don't stop myself, and as long as I'm safe in my precautions, nothing's going to stop me.
One morning you're going to wake up and you're going to be on the West Coast.
Yep. And then I'm going to say to myself, am I ready for the whole walk? And when it's my last day, I'll say yes.
There you go.
I absolutely am.
There you go. Are you going to run and jump into the water out there?
Oh
in
my
California?
God! I don't care how shallow it is. I'm swan diving that as soon as my feet touch the water, man. I'm just boom. Absolutely.
Well, you're a true inspiration. I wish you the best of luck,
Appreciate
bud.
you, brother, man. Adios.